Jambo Kenya, AFTV is on the way. From the 10th to the 16th of May, we're coming through.
Thanks to our betting partners, Batika, with the support of Serena Hotels, Steam Energy Drink and Kenya Airways for making this possible.
We'll be meeting fans, exploring your beautiful country and diving deep into Kenyan football culture.
Of course, the big one, Liverpool versus the Arsenal. The big watch party going down on May the 11th.
We've seen the passion online, and now we want to see it in person.
Kenya, we're coming.
Yo, my people, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're good. Apologies for the late notice about this live. It went up late, but we're here 5 minutes after time. But I thought I'd let it build up a bit since we put it up late. So apologies for the delay. If there was a delay, big up the community as well. I see you in the comments already. So yeah, we're here to talk, people. We're here to talk. I mean, the title is about PSG. We have Bournemouth in between. You know, I welcome any questions about Bournemouth. I think all questions about Bournemouth relate to PSG anyway. So all eyes are on that second leg over in Paris, which I'm still ticketless for, and I still have intentions to go. So we'll see how that one goes, people. But hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, do all of that stuff. It's me and you for the next 45 or so. There's a few other European semi-finals taking place in under an hour. Tottenham United in the Europa League against Bilbao United, and Tottenham Bodo Glimt. Yeah, sorry, skip my mind. And Chelsea got some team from Stockholm in the Conference League. And are you interested? I don't know. If we'd done our job, I would have watched it happily and reveled that, yeah, we're potentially in a final. But here we are. Hanging on? Are we hanging on? I think we're hanging on. I think a 1-0 loss at home means you're hanging on. I still think we've got a chance, but you could call this hanging on. Going to Paris, needing a win by a 2-goal margin to actually progress without penalties it sounds like hanging on to me. But we can do it. And yes, there's the potential of penalties, even if it is a 1-goal margin, if we do it. But Donnarumma against Raya in a penalty shootout, you know, yeah, Donnarumma against Raya in a penalty shootout. I'll just say it again rather than give my opinions on it, because I'm sure you know what I mean. Not too sure why I'm smiling like this in the thumbnail. I've just seen it now, but yeah, I ain't as happy as I was when I took that picture. That's for sure. I'm not too sure when I took that picture either, years ago now. Need another photo shoot real quick. Let me see what the chat's saying quickly. Spax is asking for a Calafiori injury update. I'm the wrong man. When it's me live, this ain't a news show. This ain't an update on rumors and what these in the knows think they know or think we want to know. So I welcome updates on Calafiori's injury as much as you do, if I'm honest with you. Not too sure when Arteta's press conference will be. Well, I say that knowing it hasn't come out today, has it? So I'm assuming tomorrow early doors, Bournemouth will be the topic of conversation. We might find out more there. AJ says, are you watching the United game after this? I'll put the United one on. Bilbao. I got Bilbao for the Europa League. So, and by I got them, I mean, I'm just putting it on them to go and win it. Beat United now and beat Tottenham in the final in your own ground. Well done over there. But sour taste. As much as it's Europa League and Conference League we're looking at tonight, we're talking about right now. And you know, we waited a long time to get out of that sort of level of European football without winning it. But yeah, to get out of it for sure. Going into it after that loss, I mean, I'm not too interested in proceedings. I'm not one of those guys that if I go see Tottenham lose 2-0 to Bodo tonight and Bilbao beat United 3-1, I'm not about to go on the Big Six later on tonight and start, you know, smiling and you know, getting a little spring back in my step. You know me by now, people, anyway. You know me by now. A lot of you were surprised I had a spring in my step going into the PSG game. But that's what a 5-1 demolition of Real home and away does. regardless of Real's form, consistency, issues, still a major task. It's Real Madrid. So yeah, there was a spring in my step. That spring, it's not springing anymore. It's not springing anymore. Big up go to Nelly. Sorry. What's happening? Why are people saying I locked the thing off? Are you talking about? Are we here, people? Are you with me? Let me just quickly check in the background what's going on. Yeah, people are still with me. They're talking. Yeah, man. I'm still. I don't know. Well, maybe I'm. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Cool. But yeah, plans A, B, and C. That's what I've titled the live tonight, because as much as it's really too late to find a semi-reliable plan B or C, because we know our plan A. All we've got is 90 minutes, people. And I'm looking at the options we've got and some of the names we've got that we can entertain in creating some sort of a plan B. I'm back now. I glitched. Okay, we're back. Either StreamYard or YouTube been having problems recently. StreamYard or YouTube been having problems. Not too sure which end the blame lies, but the same thing happened with my live the other day. I forgot when it was. But yeah, by plan A, and I say we all know what plan A is. Stop me if I'm wrong. Comments, this is where you come in. Raya will start in goal against PSG. If Timber is fit and available, Timber will be right back. If he's not, it'll be Ben White, but let's just say Timber as of now. Lewis Skelly left back, Saliba, Kivior centre backs. In midfield, it'll be Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And in attack, it'll be Saka and Martinelli either side of Mikel Merino. I don't believe anyone's stopped me yet. So I believe we're all on the same wave, if I'm not mistaken. I think that would be the team. That is the team. You know, it's missing Gabriel and Havertz, but I mean, I say missing Havertz loosely there, but Gabriel definitely, especially for set pieces. But Kivior's done his thing since stepping in. So AMSN says, okay, so I've been stopped. You say no, Odegaard, absolutely not. But remember the question. This is what Arteta will go with, right? This is not what we think or believe he should change it up to, because that's gonna come. That's gonna come. Sorry, I feel a sneeze coming. My eyes are even watering up. All right, I think I'm in control of it. Yeah, that 11 should be the starting 11, right? Calm down, bro. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Because you're asking me how do I justify Odegaard's starting. We're talking about what is the plan A going into that game. We know. Well, I'm 99% sure that's going to be the starting 11. Maybe you're not, but I'm 99% sure that's going to be the starting 11, because that's what we've got to work off. We can't talk about plan B without knowing what the plan A is, and I think plan A is what we've seen when available. Obviously, Partey missing last time out shook things up a little too much in my opinion. Even on the Partey stuff, yeah. We've done a Gunners Unfiltered today, so that'll be out soon, me and Robbie, talking about the PSG game. But I've mentioned it on Forever Arsenal and here and there. Part of management is taking your player out of the firing line when he could potentially be suspended for the next game. So yes, we've all talked about Partey being stupid, being silly, you know, being naive in that moment with Bellingham. And it is on him. That is on him, right? I ain't trying to take away any blame from that being on him, because he didn't actually need to do that. It was just so petty, right? To be honest, I don't even think it was a yellow card, but you've pushed him 2 hands to the chest, right? Cool. That's his fault, 100%. That's not Mikel's fault. But, but he should have been off the pitch. He should have been off the pitch. Probably Rice as well. And people might say, Bernabeu, there's still 10, 15 minutes to go. You're taking a big risk. We was 4-1 up. You know, we was 4-1 up. And like I said to Robbie today, he's a manager that speaks of fine margins a lot. And it, you know, it's got us close to a title, Now it's got us close to a Champions League semi-final, right? He talks of margins a lot. You can see the system needs all 11 players to be finely tuned in order for the cogs to turn without any issue, and create, you know, consistency and produce levels of performance that, yeah, we haven't seen for a long time at Arsenal, for sure. As some might say, ever, when they start looking too much into the stats and whatnot. But it's not all about G and A and conceit. It's not all about those things, because different eras require different things, right? But one of the fine margins is like, I've seen managers do it, you know, many times over the years, taking a player out when that player could potentially, either that player might need a bit of a rest before another big game coming up. That player might have it'd be a yellow card away from a suspension with a big game coming up. I'm sorry. If you're looking at the, you know, the minute details in everything, right, as most modern day managers do, including Mikel Arteta, right? If you're looking at every fine detail, then I'm sorry, one of the fine details is that manage the situation. Bellingham was doing that all game. And even though it was mainly to Rice, and I think Lewis Skelly once or twice, you know, it was. It doesn't mean that because it's been happening and we've been holding our cool that it might not happen again and shit really hits the fan. Again, I'm not saying us missing Partey was a reason for that performance, because I think that's a joke. If, albeit a player of his quality is missing, that we struggle to really cope with that midfield. Forget the attack for a sec, because I think we coped quite well. I mean, they still should have scored 3-4 goals by the end of the game. But the midfield. But going back to the Partey thing, I just think that's worth mentioning, because, you know, when everything is finely tuned and works, it's beautiful. You know, what did I say on Forever? Long live robots, right? Like the Real Madrid game, for example. Beautiful stuff. Start to finish. Minute 1 to 180. You know, it was great. But Enrique's way exposed that we need a plan B. And I know Mikel said, and to be honest, did tweak something, you know, maybe 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, that got us into the game more, got us not in control, because I don't think we was ever in control of that game at all, but got us threatening more. Oh, and that's where the 2 Martinelli chances come in. It wasn't really it was a tweak more than it, you know, and that's required when, you know, we don't have the squad capable to really mix things up as much as we would like. But again, whose fault is that? I'm not saying Mikel's, partly Mikel's, but the club. You know, that's not our fault, and that's not the players out there fault either. Like Lee said, you're seeing Oyadeji and Henry Francis and Cole warming up before a Champions League semi-final against PSG. Like, you know, the Real wins and where we are currently at, or going into the semi-final, it really has masked a lot of the nonsense that has led to this season. But still a chance for a glorious season, but still a chance for a horrible season. Now, oh my God, how can you say horrible? Look at where we was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Oh my God. Yeah, in the context then, horrible, but the context now is still horrible in a different way, you know. Otherwise, Sunderland fans can just every week just, you know, say, oh, look at these, like they don't, they're arrogant, and, you know, they're upset. I feel it's just, you know, different context, and Sunderland have won titles and so on. But I'm just saying, where we're at now is far from where we were at then. I think that whole look at where we was 5 years ago thing, it's run its course. It's really run. I think that's it. This season was it, because it's no longer, because look at where we was 5 years ago. Last season was look at where we was 3 years ago, right? That was the first, you know, that was the first use of that phrase. Look at where we was 3 years ago, and it rang true. Like, I mean, when you look at the progress made, if you said look at where we was 3 years ago in the 22-23 season, or even the 23-24 season last season, it's a good point. But then 3 years ago, this season, okay, it lands at, the season we fell off and finished 5th. So people could still use it loosely. But 3 years ago, next season, we were top for 220 days. 3 years ago, the season after that, we was a game away from the league title. So that whole context, and angle is changing as we speak, because time just doesn't stop. Unfortunate things happen. It might be injuries, it might be referee calls, it might be COVID, it might be the league just, not finding or taking points off or not taking points off particular teams. But yeah, sorry, I've taken my eye off the comments as well. We need to learn how to take a punch, says Vince. In what way? As in going down 1-0? If that's what you mean, I think we know how to take a punch because we don't crumble anymore, but we just don't have the adequate quality and resources, and by resources I mean quality and players and personnel, to really change it up, or we fail to find a way to change it up, in my opinion. And that's where I want you lot to think about. Like I said, this is plan A. This team here, we know what it's going to be. I've gone through it already. You shouldn't need to hear it again. It's the same team that started Real Madrid to a T. Yep, same team. What is plan B? What do we potentially do against Bournemouth that we can potentially use against PSG if our plan A, 30, 45 minutes. Listen, if we go a goal down, the plan B needs to come in like that. Or it needs to be ready to come in like that. So let's say we go a goal down 12 minutes in, right? But it's against the runner play because we started the game well. Okay, cool. Just stick on plan A a little bit more, but you're now 2 goals down and you need a goal before halftime. So that plan A needs to switch to plan B real quick. If we can see 12 minutes in, maybe by 25, if we haven't scored, then I'm thinking, plan B, what are we doing? We need to do this. And what is that plan B? Before I even get onto plan C, if that doesn't work and we're 70 minutes in and it's 1-1, 2-1 down on aggregate, maybe you don't change to a plan C. But if it's 60, 65 in and you're still 1-0 down there, 2-0 down on aggregate, you still need to be able to do something else. And one of my gripes recently has been Sterling starting games. Ain't nobody want to see Sterling coming on against Real, PSG, nothing. Nobody wants to see that. So what are these minutes for? When we've got Ranieri there. And these games are perfect for Ranieri. There's nothing on the league games. They come and go anyway. They come and go anyway right now. Since February, the league games have been coming and they've been going. So starting Ranieri could only mean one of two things. It could mean one, doesn't necessarily work because it's not just a Ranieri that can fix an issue. He's still very young, but he gets valuable minutes under the belt, but he doesn't do anything to knock on the door for a Champions League start or a Champions League substitution with a decent time to go, 30-35 minutes. Or two, he grabs the game by the scruff of the neck against Bournemouth, scores 2 goals, one of them being a 25-yard banger after jinking through 2 man. What happens then? He's knocking on the door, And I'm not one to ever want to rely on teenagers. We're already relying on one too many in Lewis Skelly for the majority of the season. But we're in a place now where I'm looking at the list of options we've got. I've got them written down here. Ranieri, Trossard, Tierney, White, Zinchenko, Sterling. Viable options. I was about to say, trying to make sense of them. Some of them, it's hard to make sense. But Ranieri is the one that stands out in terms of intrigue. So why hasn't he started games in the league? And then the first attacking sub you do make 89.5 minutes in. Listen, this ain't a PSG review, but I mean, I'm still not over some things. 89.5 minutes in is, waited far too long. Ranieri comes on, but it'd be better if he comes on Number one, a bit earlier. Well, quite a bit earlier. And number two, maybe after 65 minutes under his belt on the weekend, or a cumulative 120 minutes across the last 2 league games. Instead, Sterling starts. It just doesn't make, it's just not making sense. So even some of the things he's tried, because Lewis Skelly went into midfield for 20 minutes against Ipswich. Zinni was in the 8, Lewis Skelly was in the 6. Okay, you've tested it slightly. You've still got more time to test it with another league game, Palace, and then maybe this one, Bournemouth, coming up. But again, that problem is not the problem anymore, because Partey will be back for the second leg. So it's not about finding a replacement for him, even though that, in my opinion, should have been tried more, tested more, because I think it wouldn't have failed. So what is our plan B? What can our plan B be? I'm looking at Nwaneri, and this is where I struggle. And firstly, if there's any other names that, if I ask you what's the plan B, if there's any other names that come to your mind first ahead of Nwaneri, who would it be? Like, would it be Trossard? Would it be Tierney? Would it be White? Would it be Zinchenko? Would it be Sterling? I don't think I'm missing anyone there, unless you start when we say Setford and Neto and Henry Francis and Oyadeji. Yeah, we're talking viable, realistic options. Plan B is Believe. To be honest, that might be plan A, B, and C, if I'm honest with you. Pie man. Yeah. Zane says Trossard. Rome says Sterling. I don't think Rome is an Arsenal fan, if I'm honest with you. You can't be. He just said Sterling. He must have forgot the laughing emoji. He must have got, yeah. What are your opinions of the bench if it goes extra time? My opinions of the bench with no extra time is already bleak as it is. So going into extra time, having probably used a couple of those options from the bench that are not as bleak as the rest. I mean, our bench during extra time is going to be dark, very dark. But yeah, I don't know. Game state matters, I guess. So it might be light. It might be light depending on what we need. And I even say that what's light was Zinchenko. Yeah, I'm struggling. Has to be Zinni, says Ty. Takes risks and plays through the lines. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. But how would you, okay, so how would we play it then? That's the question. Because again, let me just go through it. Raya starts, Saliba, Kivior, Lewis Skelly, Timber, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Marino up top, Martinelli and Sakari beside. That's going to be the team. So Zinni, let's say I take, sorry, I didn't see your name, but let's say we take your example, your pick for Zinni, Ty. Who does he come in for? 45 minutes in, it's still 1-0 PSG. We've struggled in the first half to create anything, but we've had a lot of the ball. Zinni, who's he coming on for? I don't think you take Odegaard off for Zinni. I think you take Odegaard off for Nwaneri. Again, assuming that it's the same level of performances we've been seeing for a long time now. Someone said Zinni for Odegaard, but Ty said he agrees that it probably wouldn't. So again, the Zinni thing, it sounds good, but we start looking at Partey and Rice to replace potentially, or maybe we put Tierney in to bring some width and overlapping and crosses into the box, but we bring him in for someone to allow Lewis Skelly to go into midfield. But then would that someone have to be Partey or Rice, depending on who's having the better game? If both, then you don't change it. So again, it's hard for me to see Zinni coming in this to be plan B, if I'm honest with you, because surely Nwaneri, something around Nwaneri and Trossard has to be plan A. To be honest, something around Nwaneri has to be plan B, sorry. Because those two are the sparks, and our plans need goals, basically. So as much as I agree, Zinni progressive, he does take risks. He can help open a team up. He can help open our own defense up. So it's a risk in itself. But when you're chasing a game, I don't mind risks. Like I'll mind if you've taken 3 risks and you've given the ball away each and every time, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be pissed off. I told you, people. I felt a sneeze coming, and that's it. Hopefully that's it out the way. Because you see me and hay fever, that's something I've never been able to beat. That's something that's got the better of me for a long, long time. I'm not on it with hay fever. If I sneeze once, usually I sneeze like 15 times. But this is why we need to keep on the ball and talk, people. Take my mind off it. Because this whole life would be locked off. 15 times is a good day. You know, it's been 30, 35. It's probably been 50 sneezes in a row. Fuck. Thank you. Thank you for the bless you, Saka's older brother. I appreciate it. Where was I? Okay. So my plan A. Okay, so plan A. And to be honest, that wouldn't even be my plan A, by the way. I'm just saying this is going to be Mikel's plan A. Honestly, I'd love to see Nwaneri start 10 against Bournemouth with Saka on the right, but Saka shouldn't be risked, really. You know, shouldn't be risked. So it's hard because as much as like this is why I say 90-minute, 90 minutes between 2 games in a week is not enough to really trial test and be sure about a potential new plan that could sweep the rug from under them. I'll be bringing Nwaneri. Listen, if we, and then we look at Marino up top here as well, because nah, you don't take him off, even if he's having a quiet game. I mean, he's shown already, I guess, that he can have a quiet 89 minutes and still come out with 2 goals or a goal or an assist. He's shown enough. So I wouldn't touch Marino. And Odegaard's performances have been that bad that, if it's the same level against PSG again, yeah, it's detrimental. So Marino stays on. He showed enough. Dave said Partey doing a Gilberto and Rice doing a Perez. Luis Enrique stifled Arteta with his tactics. Arteta needs to hit him back. Tactical wars at its finest. Hopefully at its finest, because at its finest means that we do clap back. We don't just roll over and they take our territory, and by territory, that's how we should be looking at it, right? That's our place in the final. Like they should be looking at it the same. It's a semi-final. That's why it's so disappointing how it all unfolded on Tuesday. Starting with the club. I mean, the club, people know I've talked about the club many a time. Whoever thought that was a good idea, and by that, is it a tifo? I don't know. But whoever thought that was a good idea, I mean, they're probably being paid 6 figures a year, maybe 5, but still stealing a living if that's the creative department at the club, because my God, it put the PSG fans up even more. And like I said on Forever, I mean, I looked at Ashburton Army's allocation and I'm thinking, like last season and the season before that, much more. It looked like at least 200 men were there, week in, week out. At least this time round, honestly, I looked and it was probably 30. So I don't know. I don't even know what's going on there. Tifo rejected, and the crowd and the supporters have saved up for it. I don't know what happens from there. But yeah, the club are out of touch. I mean, as much as Mikel has come in and helped and improved what's happening on the pitch and helped improve off the pitch because of the money coming in and being able to being able to finally compete again doesn't mean that, you know, every position in the club is filled by someone that is in touch with the fans, the team, the culture. Even Stuart, you know, the PSG fans, I was talking to him before the game, and he was like, I'm interested to see the atmosphere, like, because he spoke about it with Ty on the face off, and he was like, I'm interested to see the atmosphere. And I was like, nah, man, it'll be proper today. It'll be proper. Like, after seeing the Real one, I don't mean the away one, I mean what was done for the home game. Obviously, I wasn't there for it, but I saw it. I thought there's no way that the atmosphere for this PSG game won't be better than the atmosphere against PSG in the group phase, or whenever. When's the last time we played them? A little while ago now. But you know, I haven't messaged him yet, but I should have messaged Stuart saying, yeah, I apologize, because it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but too much emphasis on that. It's not about the atmosphere. It's about the club doing enough off the pitch to make sure on the pitch we don't have 3-4 youngsters that are definitely not getting a game warming up before a Champions League semi-final. Doesn't make no sense. I need a tissue, man. These solo lives, you can't have hay fever on these solo lives, man. It can get a bit mad. Stop worrying about the atmosphere and focus on the game. That's what top players do. Yeah. I mean, top players also rally up the crowd, but that's that has to be done in and around actually moments of magic or passages of play or pressure. Can't just come after we won a goal kick. Like, we won a goal kick, let's go. Like, we're 1-0 down at home. It's 72 minutes. What do you mean, let's go? You man go first, and then we'll go. Like, this whole argument about this fans disgraceful, embarrassing. Firstly, the club with the tifo and stuff really set the tone at the beginning anyway. And then the way the tickets have been allocated and the way they've been sold on and the way people are making insane money from it. Insane. I put out there that I ain't got a ticket for PSG. I was offered one for 2K for the away game. So I said, listen, I ain't got one. If someone's got one, then, you know, hit me up, but make sure it's not 2K. I've had another offer for 2K, so I don't think that person waited for the end of the sentence. And then someone's come with 2.8K. 2.8K. I don't know, man. How's all these influencers that get invited to these fucking things just to do a quick TikTok or two? Maybe I need to jump on TikTok and start getting free tickets, because what? I don't understand. I can do some content. I'll still go out. I think I'll still go out there, though. It's going to be 20, 21, 22 degrees. It might be our last big game of the season. You lot enjoyed the vlogs so far. Another chance to vlog. It would be different because it'd either be me not going to the game and trying to find somewhere around the stadium to watch it, or it'd be me going to the game undercover, home end, which is more likely. It won't be the same, but all options are considered, people. All options are considered. Save your money, says Nina. Oh, that's probably what it's going to be. Night Train says Arteta wants Arsenal to be Liverpool so bad. Stealing songs. You see the stealing songs thing? This is very silly. And this is the social media age showing their age again. Songs have historically, or the theme of a song or a theme of a chant has historically been passed around from different teams, high and low, and tailored to suit the context of the current situation or whatever it is. Off the back of that, like, I'm assuming you're talking about this Gabby Martinelli money heist chant. Arsenal fans were doing that with Odegaard like 6 years, well, not 6 years ago. How many years ago? 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 2021. 2022, 21, 22, 4 years ago, 4 years ago. There's even evidence of it out there. There's a generic one about the greatest club the world has ever seen. I mean, do you know how many clubs sing that? So really, this whole stealing songs thing is it's just social media banter, I guess. But yeah, North London Forever, You'll Never Walk Alone, kind of embarrassing. North London Forever is actually, I like the song. I like the song. We just need to win stuff because, again, it's about winning. Yeah, whether you're a youngster, social media generation Z, or whatever the next fucking generation is, whether you're one of them or millennial or OG 70s, 80s, like, I should get booed. Sorry, that the capital boo took my attention away from Joseph. The owners, I mean, the owner. Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. Where was that Night Train? Kind of. No, I mean, I like the song, but as with everything, if you don't win, everything can be turned to it's embarrassing. Like Klopp, remember when Klopp did the whole in his first 6 months against West Brom and against many teams, going to the fans and doing the whole whatever he did. I forgot what he did, but he did something. But people were laughing about it. People continued to laugh about it. The laughs soon died down, and they started winning things, and no one laughed about it again. Because even when you look back at it now, you saw it was his way of partly building back maybe a damaged connection with the fans, and building upon that. So until you win, like these methods, like playing You'll Never Walk Alone in fucking training. If we went and beat them, then everyone's looking at that You'll Never Walk Alone thing and think, credit, done something. Because we ain't beating them at Anfield in how long? But it wasn't followed up with the result, as far as I remember, because we haven't won at Anfield. So yeah, everything's a joke until you win. But that's why I also don't like the modern day social media banter football stuff, because it's like, a great player could have a poor game and then everyone's onto him like he's not a great player anymore. Or a poor player can have a great game and then everyone's like, this player's great. It's just too mad. It's too extreme, all angles. HR says, would you start Tierney as left back and Lewis Skelly for Odegaard in midfield? Not for Odegaard, Lewis Skelly. Because what, a midfield of Partey, Rice, Lewis Skelly? I don't think that's... I'm starting Nwaneri in that position, if I'm honest. Like, I just can't see past the Nwaneri. And why would I need to see past the Nwaneri? That means Lewis Skelly stays there. If your idea is to get Tierney in the side, then it's going to cost someone. And I don't think that's costing Odegaard. It's going to cost a Partey or a Rice. And we've already seen the cost of Partey, and we've already seen the value of Rice in the last 3 Champions League games. So yeah, I wouldn't be starting Tierney to take out Odegaard, because I think we need Ranieri in there. And I hope we make the final, if only to see Lewis Skelly versus Yamal. Imagine. Yamal's the best player in the world, isn't it? He's the best. I mean, like, it feels wrong saying it because he's 17, but watching the game, every time he got the ball, and every time he gets the ball, when I watch him generally over the last year and a bit, it's exciting. It's like old school football. Freedom. He might just pull something out of a hat, like he did against Inter. That was a beautiful, like, turned one man, dropped the shoulder on another, jinked one, made the space, kissed off the post, 2-1, on to the next one. And Lewis Skelly is probably the best young fullback. Yeah. Best teenage fullback for sure in world football. Best teenage fullback. So imagine that. Best winger / player in the world at this moment in time. and best young teenage fullback at this moment in time. Let me just check the chat before they remind me of a name that I've forgotten about. No, we're good. We're good. I hope Ghost to God was watching Pedri and Barella yesterday. Ballers. Wanted Barella time ago when he left Cagliari. It is what it is. Joey says, so negative, acting like it's 4-0 to PSG. Where was this energy versus Madrid? I don't quite understand this. I'm trying to make sense of it, Joey, man. You actually spent a fiver as well, so you could use more words, brother. So try and explain yourself a bit better, man. I don't think I've been overly negative either. I think we have a chance. I still want to go out there. What do you want me to do? Pull out roses out my arse and just start doing juggling and magic tricks just to take our mind off the fact we lost at home in the first leg? It's okay to be upset, you know. I just don't understand. Send another super chat and get all the words that you need to get in, brother. Make sense of it. Balde's not. I don't think. Oh, Balde's good though. Balde is good. How old is he? How old is he? Is he still a teenager? Anyway, Goten says, big up Turkish. There's no chance we're making it to the final. We've seen this ending too many times before. Whenever there's pressure, we fold. Sadly, and I say sadly, I agree with you. Like, I do think it just feels like another one of those where the finish line is just there and we slip, we trip up. You know, it does feel like that. But at the same time, I've got to maintain that we can win the game and get through. It's 1-0. Lucky it's 1-0. Could have been 3 in the last 4 minutes or so. But I do sadly lean towards what you're saying. It just feels like that. But it felt like that against Real going into the first leg for me, where I thought this is where the journey ends here. Season done in a couple of weeks, and going into April, we've got nothing. But it didn't turn out like that. So benefit of doubt, and I don't often do that. Second leg, 1-0 down. You won at the Bernabeu. Very different test, but try and pull something out. Rigo's mum says CL semi yesterday was a proper throwback, proper football, 100%. Do you know how refreshing it was to see man shooting outside the box? Over and over again. Over and over again. Probably had a huge chunk of our fans watching it like, don't do that. No. Because just indoctrinated into this systematic, robotic way. It was beautiful to see. Even Inter, you know, they was very, they didn't. I mean, Barcelona deserved to win that game and controlled, but Inter were threatening, and to bet they were threatening enough to warrant a couple goals anyway. So yeah, it was a proper throwback. Does this squad have the legs to beat PSG, Barca? Well, PSG, and then potentially Barca and Inter. I mean, they must. You know, if they beat PSG and turn it around, then there's 31st of May, PSG said there's still 3 weeks left before that match. 3 weeks is enough time to actually figure out a proper plan B and C. Rest, rotate, and make sure players are in optimal condition going into that Champions League game. If we're talking here, if Mendes is 22, yeah, I know he's young. But Skelly's a teenager, and he's not even a proper fullback, left back. I'd still say best teenage fullback in the world. I'll stand by that. Do you think we can get Arda Güler in the summer? I do. I honestly do. It heavily depends on what Xabi Alonso or the next Real manager thinks of him. But he is quality. I'm not saying go all out. I honestly think you could go to Real. If Xabi Alonso comes in and says, "I need you," because Arda Güler is a very different attacking midfielder / forward to anyone else they have in that side. Probably closest to Brahim Diaz, and even then he's different. So Xabi Alonso might need that profile and tell him, no, stay here. You're going to get more minutes game time. Or Xabi Alonso might come in and say, I need you to, have another year of football. Let me acclimatize to what we got here. And then, come back after a year. I'd still swoop in. A year loan. Fuck yeah. Or he might be like, Arda, sorry, brother. I know it's unfortunate. You've already held bench 2 years and you want game time, but I need to see what these men. Arda might just be like, all right, cool, I'm out. And from there, Real, they've done option, a loan with an obligation, loan with options. They've done all these type of deals before. I'll be swooping in. But you see, I told people, Rodrigo, I had a heavy inkling he'd be available this summer because he couldn't have been happy with the way, not necessarily he's been treated this season, but the way he's been shafted at times. He's the one to suffer most with Mbappe's arrival, in my opinion, and from the shake-up in the forward line. So I'd be knocking on Real's door for a couple players, Arda Güler and Rodrigo. The downside is they'll probably be like, hey, what about William over there? That's where we've got to be like, don't ask us about any players. Yeah, we come to ask about those two. What are you saying about those two? We're not offering nobody. We got to move like that. Rodrigo on the left wing with Saka on the right and Gyökeres up top. Do you know how that transforms our attack? Like my number one's always been Rodrigo because I always thought he would become available this summer. Kvaratskhelia in January was a beautiful opportunity, and when there's a beautiful opportunity, you take it. And if we had taken it, I wouldn't be looking at Rodrigo now. But I am looking at Rodrigo now because Kvara is over in Paris enjoying himself. Rodrigo, very different type of winger to Saka, but all the attributes we need. He's got all the attributes. He's got all the attributes Martinelli has on the ball and much more. Off the ball, Rodrigo still works hard, Rodrigo still works hard. I'm not going to say Martinelli works harder, but Rodrigo still works hard. He still works hard. That attack would feed. Someone said Verts. We're getting a bit, we are going into FIFA territory here because Gyökeres, Rodrigo, and Verts. I'm saying we're winning it all. I'd be losing myself a bit, but rightly so. Imagine what Gyökeres, Rodrigo, and Verts. And Saka, front four. And a light Arda Güler in there as well. Verts wants Bayern though. Why do all of these men always want Bayern though? Like, I know why. Before people say, "Oh, how can you say?" I get that. But fucking hell, Verts, man. Like Musiala's there. Like, what do you know? What? Anyway, can't have two of the best attacking mid-10s at the same club. Like, not in this climate. This climate, the quality needs to be spread around, please. And feel like if we somehow win the Champions League, Kroenkes will justify tightening the purse strings in the summer. Are you happy with just Gyökeres, Zubimendi, and Nico Williams? It's for me that summer addresses priority 1, priority 2, and priority 4. So happy, yes. Could be happier, definitely. For example, I think last summer we got in priority 2 and priority 5. So we missed 1, 3, and 4, which is complete stupidity from whoever decided that was great or that was the right thing to do. Whereas this here, Gyökeres, priority 1, striker. Williams, priority 2, in my opinion, left winger. Zubimendi, priority Priority free. Actually, I'd say that's free of the free. That's free. Because I was thinking, is the 10 priority free, but then Jorginho's going. Hopefully, Partey locks down a contract. Yeah. I mean, I'd be happy with that summer. But we've still left ourselves a little because, you know, I like the look of Nico. If I'm honest, I'll definitely take him. But if Rodrigo's on the market and we get a Nico and then a Liverpool, shit, because Diaz might be out. Nunes, he must be out. Rodrigo is going to be of interest to Liverpool. He'll be of interest to Man City. He'll be of interest for sure. Might be of interest to Chelsea as well, because I don't know if they're going to keep Sancho or not, and their wing is in jet. So to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, I'll be happy with that. But you know, I don't want to be seeing Rodrigo go Liverpool and Isak go Liverpool or whatever, and or Man City get Rodrigo. They've already got Marmoush and Haaland, and you're already looking at those three. Like, what the hell is going on here? Pep taking it back. He's taking it back. But listen, I think I've lasted long enough. I need to get a tissue. Hay fever's about to do me in. I've kept it to one sneeze, but I'm telling you, there's more coming. So hit the like button, people. You know, we've struggled to find a plan B aside from talking about Ranieri, Trossard, and potentially Zinchenko. So I guess it's one of those three. So let me know in the comments if you watch this after what your plan B would be. Someone said pause. Pause for what? I don't even know. But love for the love, people. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Do all of that stuff. And I got Big Six in a couple hours. Wish me luck.
Jambo Kenya, AFTV is on the way. From the 10th to the 16th of May, we're coming through.
Thanks to our betting partners, Batika, with the support of Serena Hotels, Steam Energy Drink, and Kenya Airways for making this possible.
We'll be meeting fans, exploring your beautiful country, and diving deep into Kenyan football culture.
Of course, the big one, Liverpool versus the Arsenal. The big watch party going down on May the 11th.
We've seen the passion online, and now we want to see it in person.
Kenya, we're coming.